thank you, TT obviously for organizing the event and Center for Architecture for hosting. My name is John Cerone. I'm a principal at Shop Architects and lead a lot of the digital design and delivery approach at the company.
And hello, can you hear? My name is Tim Lee, and I'm an associate at Shop, part of the applied research team for our AR and VR efforts.
Great. So normally at these types of presentations, it's a tech presentation typically, especially if I'm presenting, we're usually presenting around process approach and manufacturing and design and delivery. So product pipeline and how we build tools to, we'll use things like pavilions to build a series of tools to rationalize geometry and then, automate that at scale. And our lectures are typically, at the end of the day, is a lot of sort of advanced CATIA modeling and fabrication and sort of a design to production pipeline. And it is true, we build these catalogs of tools to basically enable, to short circuit a lot of the inefficiency we see in the sort of design, the breaks between documentation and then delivery. So a normal presentation gets very deep into a production pipeline and then how we apply that at scale to buildings. We do still do that. We are more recently, we're looking at adjusting the sort of interpolating the design manufacturing pipeline to a much larger scale, to the building, to the master plan. And considering, I think our approach at that scale also has been around production, logistics, supply chain, especially with a lot of advancements in building technologies that we're seeing, offsite manufacturing. So at scale, we're looking now at analysis over very large data sets. And in terms of quantitative data sets and rationalizing how we sort of understand analysis and tools of analysis, we've sort of arrived at this understanding that these tools are incredibly valuable. We continue to pipe in data and analysis and what the implications of that are for production. But a lot of this information, anything sort of quantitative, is inevitably going to be done in real time. I think we see sort of how AI is going to, the world is going to be indexed in terms of its physical makeup, in terms of materiality. And what's interesting is, we can get a map of what is there. But it's this sort of strange scaling back and looking from, the piece part all the way back to master plan to sort of city analysis is what are the interactions? Like, how are people interfacing with the design product? So we focus so much around models for design, and the reality is people are offering information. There is real-time feedback happening all the time in very lightweight interfaces. And so over the past 5 years, we've been doing a very dedicated effort towards getting clients and stakeholders around a model. Can we use the model as a place for information? And the kind of result of all of this scale and all of this kind of deep dive into production, we realized we just need to step way back and sort of start at a fundamental approach. And what does everyone have available to them? How are people used to interacting with information? And
yeah, so interactive visualization, we're a applied research team that focuses on integrating and developing different visualization technology to help the firm communicate more effectively. And I guess John mentioned, it's a lot to do with like real time and lightweight, so that enables people to communicate more, more quickly and more like at a timely fashion. So, so our team does a wide net of things, and this is just as like examples of. So like so for example, this one it's an exhibition in Munich that we collaborated on with a museum. This was on during COVID, so people from Munich, Germany probably wouldn't have access to the actual project here in Brooklyn or in Brooklyn. So we just thought of like ways to kind of, enable people to have like a second layer of interactivity, overlaying an AR model on the physical one to like kind of engage with projects that we create. And then, so these are just kind of examples of like, data visualization and like allowing the stakeholders to have early on participation in the project. So on the left side, you have, like we're kind of starting to track all the panels being installed on 9 DeKalb, now the tallest Brooklyn Tower. And then also on the right-hand side, we're trying to break down the barrier between us, the architects, and the contractors and the owner and the different stakeholders. So, and then this is kind of like to elaborate on that. Traditionally we create a CD set for people to consume on-site and off-site, and it's a very one-way way of communication. And then also if there's like changes on site, then there's no direct feedback, or you cannot provide direct feedback on those things. And like we did a lot of hard work on the BIM model, and then at the end we produced this static set of drawing set, and then we're just kind of like trying to like kind of bridge the gap between static or like BIM, like real-time content, and all the stakeholders. Yeah, here's another. And this is a fun one that we did with photogrammetry. So basically you take a video of like a 3D object you want to scan, and then just go around the object, and then we do some processing, and then you end up with this 3D object that could be viewed on your phone. So it's a very intuitive way, and you can like spin around like how you would with anything on the iPhone, right? So we're trying to kind of just again like break down that barrier between like the traditional ways of doing things like documentation, like taking photos and saving them onto the network, and then the next person goes in and finds that, okay, we're missing this angle, right? So like with newer technology, it enables us to do that in a very quick way, and also with available technology. I'll speak to.
Yeah, sure. We also, right before the pandemic, expanded our office to another floor and built out this interactive 3D visualization space. So it's a large scale 3D projection room, a holodeck. We call it Tranquility. And again, as a way to sort of create refreshing or new ways of engaging models. And admittedly, all of this that we've shown, much like my sort of intro, was a bit schizophrenic. We cast a wide net. What we were really sort of understanding is we have these models and people don't have access to them. And we need to start providing more real-time access earlier on in the project in real time, not just the sort of drawing sets, not the renderings. Our clients can't open Revit, Rhino files. We have this information, and we want to create new ways, sort of novel ways, refreshing ways, but what we've sort of realized, simple and intuitive ways to access it in real time. So in this space, through this app development, we started building, with sort of specialists like Tim and a growing team of kind of app development proper. So when we're in this room, can we control what's the physical space in here with an app? And the answer, of course, is yes. And you start, this wide net starts to become focused into a sort of into the project portal, which I'll let Tim.
Yeah, so we felt the need to, build something that would be integrated into like our, day-to-day processes, and like namely like the design process. So a lot of times, like John was referring to, you have all these like Rhino, Revit, what have you models, and like kind of ping pong between different teams. So we kind of wanted to create this like quote unquote Google Docs, if you will, for like 3D assets or like BIM stuff, BIM data. So and then also kind of speaking to the intuitive design or like interface. So we're designing for, like, I guess like John could probably put it better at that, we're designing for the designers, or like we're trying to make the process easier for everyone, for the designers to use, so that it's integrated.
Yeah, I think we realize the design of the interactions with the design is now a new layer that's as important as the design itself, how people interface with it. Mm-hmm. And so, I think it's important to say, we're not making models to serve up in mobile applications. We're writing processes that take our models and optimize them and serve them up into mobile applications and other applications. So.
Yeah, so the project portal is kind of like the centerpiece here, and and we have like 3 different modes kind of off the bat. Orbit mode is like your 3D viewer type of thing, where you can section cut, can do sun study, just like typical very like designy stuff. And then tabletop AR, we're kind of like reimagining the kind of replacing the physical model. I know you can't really replace the physical model, but imagine like putting like a virtual AR model in the real environment to see it as like the physical thing. And then Street View AR is a one-to-one model. So if the project is under construction, or we're still in the design phase, trying to figure out what's the best option for the site, you put it in context to visualize what that project might look like. And then, as we're speaking to our clients, we're finding out more and more use cases for, even post-occupancy purposes, like PR marketing. So like you see on the screen is the Barclays Center, right? So you can sort of imagine if you could, immerse yourself in that model, and maybe one day we'll be able to do wayfinding on the mobile app, and with the collaboration of Barclays Center. And then also another use case we found is like another data visualization use case, where the owners and the GC want to keep track of things, and they have archaic ways of doing that, like Excel spreadsheets or paper-based methods. So we put in this mode that you can turn on and off to track current projects that are in construction, as you can see on the screen. And then, post-occupancy, kind of going back to the post-occupancy use case, IoT, like building management, all these like health data that people really care about these days. And so this is kind of a fun side project that we're exploring different options of what we can do with like this real-time optimized version of the BIM data. And of course, commenting on while you're designing, like we'll be able to like show 3D models, and then someone else on the team could go into the same model, put a note in the 3D space, and someone else, it's a multi-user experience. So, and also to create that bidirectionality. So it's not just, to like, you know, to enhance the communication. And of course, the web version is a no-brainer. If we started with mobile because we thought everyone has a mobile phone and that's like the easiest way to gain access for everyone. So, and web is also another one that you know we can do. So, and this is like an internal tool, internal pipeline that we're still work in progress. Basically, during the design phase or any phase, someone wants to, you know, talk about a 3D asset or, you know, to collaborate it on the project. They could be in Rhino, and then just with the push of a button, it goes into our project portal. You can pull up the 3D object on your phone, put it in AR, or just do it in the 3D viewer, or you can do the one-to-one scale thing so that you can visualize it way better than you can on a screen. Yeah, so these are just kind of the platforms that we're trying to, we're expanding into. Mobile, VR, Tranquility is the 360 cave that we built out. You want to talk about the?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, you know, because I know we're basically at time. What started sort of as, we started as what we were affectionately calling it the cocktail hour app, where you sign in, you have your portfolio projects and you can access them quickly. Obviously, it's deeper, you know, data visualization, like getting people used to the projects. We know, you know, the VR is all unplugged now, untethered. If we're piping it into mobiles, we can serve it up quickly to obviously virtual reality, which is immersive. We can serve it up into multiple portals, I'd say. So our Tranquility portal, right? Like we already have the integration. So what we're doing is, we know there's a lot of good commercial tools out there that do all of these things, but they're heavier. We wanted to create something very lightweight. This isn't for commercial, you know, development. This is for access to our projects internally. So as soon as we have a design option, you can say, look at this, comment on it. It's served up onto every device, and it is a way for people to access our projects and comment on them. So it is, we're not trying to displace any specific tool. All of those, we still use all of the kind of robust third-party tools for communication and for project tracking. But seeing this, you know, the fact that it is limited feature, we can design and implement features specifically for a purpose. When we have a client meeting, we can set up options that they can cycle through and make decisions. Like this is happening in real time, providing access to the models to have a meeting around and make decisions in an hour in a site meeting that would normally be interpreted through axons or renderings, and no one would sort of really understand it. This engagement is what we're increasingly trying to create, this access, so we can have more real-time communication around our designs and our projects. So that is really it.
Yeah. So it's actually publicly launched on the Apple Store. And also, if you have an Android, it's on the Google Play Store. If you type in Shop Portal, we do have like 3 feature projects on there that you can explore around with the 3 different modes I described. And then use the guest code featured in there, then you can pull up those projects. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.